Shakur Stevenson walked into Louis Armstrong Stadium in New York with more than just a world title on the line. Though already regarded as one of the smartest and slickest fighters in the lightweight division, Stevenson was chasing something beyond victory. He was determined to silence the critics and redefine how the world sees him inside the ropes. And after 12 intense rounds against Mexican contender William Zepeda, Stevenson left the ring with his hand raised once again, still undefeated, still world champion, but not entirely satisfied with his own showing. The fight ended in Stevenson's favor by a wide margin. All three judges saw it clearly for him, scoring the bout 118-110, 118-110, and 119-109. Statistically, it was a dominant display, and yet, when Stevenson addressed the crowd and press after the final bell, he didn't carry the tone of a man celebrating a career-high performance. Instead, he showed a level of honesty and humility that few fighters offer in the wake of a win. He acknowledged that he had stepped into the ring with the intention of being more aggressive, of engaging in more exchanges, and of taking more risks than usual. That strategy, however, came at a cost. In his own words, Stevenson admitted he didn't quite hit the performance peak he was aiming for. He revealed that he deliberately chose a more forward-moving approach to answer those who label him as overly cautious or too defensive. This shift in style, while effective in controlling the tempo of the fight and securing the win, led to him taking more clean shots than he typically allows. It was a tactical decision born not from necessity, but from a desire to make a statement to those who have accused him of being a safety-first boxer who wins without putting himself in the line of fire. Stevenson's opponent, William Zepeda, is no pushover. Known for his relentless pressure and high punch volume, the Mexican fighter came into the bout with an imposing record and a knockout percentage that many experts couldn't ignore. In his first 33 professional bouts, Zepeda had stopped 82% of his opponents, a clear indication of his ability to do damage. That kind of finishing rate suggests power, danger, and real threat. But Stevenson, with his usual poise and tactical sharpness, managed to neutralize Zepeda's strengths. He didn't simply run or evade, he chose to stand and trade when it mattered most. That's part of what made this victory particularly meaningful to him. Even with the numbers clearly favoring him, Stevenson found himself at the center of heated conversation across boxing circles and social media. One of the first voices to comment was former interim champion Ryan Garcia, who questioned the level of opposition Stevenson faced. Garcia acknowledged that Stevenson didn't rely on running this time, but dismissed the win by suggesting Zepeda wasn't a real test of power. Such remarks sparked back-and-forth debates online, with fans and pundits split between those defending Stevenson's performance and those echoing Garcia's criticisms. However, statistics don't lie. Zepeda's 82% knockout ratio isn't something that can be brushed aside lightly. It's not a figure you reach without genuine punching ability, especially in a weight class as competitive as lightweight. Stevenson's ability to handle that kind of firepower, to walk into it and still control the fight, says much about his ability not only to defend but also to absorb and answer back under pressure. It also suggests that Stevenson's style is far more than just defense, its adaptability, its control, and its IQ. He reads opponents like a seasoned chess master, and against Zepeda, he once again proved how effective that mental edge can be. Still, Stevenson made it clear that he wasn't resting on this achievement. In his own words, he said that the version fans saw in New York wasn't his final form. He believes his peak is still ahead of him. That admission, coming right after a dominant win, shows a level of self-awareness that separates good fighters from great ones. It wasn't just a vague promise, it was a challenge to himself to keep growing, evolving, and pushing the ceiling higher. Stevenson didn't brush off the criticism, he embraced it, analyzed it, and vowed to do better. It's not just about defending belts for him, it's about refining the art of boxing itself, since claiming the WBC lightweight world title in November 2023, Stevenson has now defended it 3 times, keeping his perfect record intact. His professional resume now reads 24 wins and no losses, a remarkable feat in a sport where even a single mistake can derail years of hard work. With each fight, he continues to build a legacy that has the potential to land him among the sport's greats. Yet, he remains grounded, aware that numbers alone won't silence every critic. What makes this chapter in Stevenson's career particularly compelling is what lies ahead. The lightweight division is packed with talent. Names like Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, Vasily Lomachenko, and Ryan Garcia loom large, offering endless possibilities for blockbuster showdowns. Stevenson has never been shy about calling out the best, and his latest victory has only intensified speculation about who might be next. Fans are eager to see him tested against someone with a more explosive style or higher profile, and the pressure to deliver a fight that thrills both purists and casuals is growing louder. Despite differing opinions on his style, there's no denying Stevenson's technical brilliance. His defense remains among the best in the sport, and his ability to control the pace of a fight is second to none. Yet, this mastery sometimes leads to complaints that his fights lack drama or entertainment. Some fans crave the toe-to-toe wars and blood and guts brawls. Stevenson, it seems, is trying to evolve toward a middle ground, one that doesn't sacrifice brilliance for brawling but also offers enough action to keep the crowd engaged. That balancing act is one of the sport's most difficult to maintain, especially when world titles and unbeaten streaks are on the line. Against William Zepeda, Stevenson showed that he can be more than just elusive. He showed that he can take a punch, push forward, and fight on the inside if he chooses to. He proved he's not afraid of risk when the moment calls for it. Most of all, he proved that he's listening to critics, to fans, and to himself. That kind of mindset is rare in a champion, and it may be the key to unlocking even more potential as he moves forward. Looking ahead, Stevenson's future feels like a canvas waiting for its masterpiece. He's already made his mark in multiple divisions and continues to sharpen his tools with every bout. If he can land a fight with one of the big names in the division, someone like Davis or Haney, it could be the kind of showdown that defines an era. But even if those matchups take time to materialize, Stevenson appears focused on one thing above all: becoming the best version of himself, inside and outside the ring. What fans witnessed in New York was not the end product, but a glimpse of a work still in progress. That idea that the best is yet to come adds a layer of intrigue to Stevenson's journey. He's not merely fighting opponents. He's fighting expectations, reputations, and even his own ceiling. For those watching closely, that pursuit might be the most exciting storyline in boxing today. As Stevenson's victory settled into the headlines and boxing fans around the world replayed highlights and broke down statistics, a deeper conversation began to emerge, not just about his win, but about what it symbolizes. For years, critics have pointed to Stevenson's defensive mastery as both his gift and his flaw. While his ability to avoid damage and pick opponents apart with surgical precision has earned him admiration from trainers and analysts, it's also led to accusations that he's too cautious, too controlled, or even too boring for mainstream audiences. In this fight against Zepeda, he consciously chose to walk a different path, one that exposed him to more risk in order to answer those critiques head-on. That kind of calculated gamble isn't just a technical adjustment, it's a psychological shift, a fighter declaring that he's not just here to win but to entertain and grow. Behind the scenes, Stevenson's camp has remained confident in the long-term vision. His trainers and team have often stressed that his development is a marathon, not a sprint. While many young fighters chase highlight reel knockouts to build hype and chase pay-per-view numbers, Stevenson's approach has been more methodical, more cerebral. He's taken on challenges across weight classes, moved strategically through opponents, and built his skill set brick by brick. With each outing, he collects more data about his rivals, about fan perception, and about himself. The Zepeda fight, in that sense, wasn't just another title defense. It was a benchmark moment, showing that Stevenson can switch gears when needed, even if it means stepping out of his comfort zone to do so. The reaction within the boxing community has been varied but largely respectful. Trainers, commentators, and former champions have weighed in on the performance with a mix of praise and constructive criticism. Some, like veteran boxing analyst Andre Ward, himself known for his high-ick style, have highlighted Stevenson's patience and discipline as key factors in his ongoing success. Others have pointed out areas for improvement, particularly in how Stevenson handles fighters who pressure constantly and don't allow him to dictate rhythm easily. What's evident, however, is that Stevenson remains a student of the game.